Recently, Mason Mount has been playing a brand of football where every touch is perfectly measured and purposeful. Each time he's on the ball, his decisions are clear and intelligent, helping the team's rhythm flow much more smoothly. With 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 13 matches, including 8 starts, Mason Mount is gradually becoming a key figure under Ruben Amorim, even now being preferred over Matheus Cunha in the team's selection order. According to internal sources from Manchester United, it was Ruben Amorim himself who greatly admired Mason Mount's playing style. And his teammates have also been completely won over. Mount may not always make the headlines, but he's increasingly proving his real worth on the pitch. The season opener against Arsenal is still regarded by Amorim as the perfect example of the football philosophy he wants to build. That day, Mason Mount, Matheus Cunha, and Bryan Mbeumo all delivered impressive performances. Notably, Cunha was deployed as a central striker, a role not naturally his, yet he played with great effectiveness. Covering wide areas, pressing relentlessly, and creating plenty of space for the supporting players around him. However, since Benjamin Sesko has gradually established himself as the team's main striker, the chances of Cunha returning to the center-forward role have all but disappeared. Mbeumo has firmly secured his spot on the right wing, which means the remaining attacking position on the left has become a true battleground between Cunha and Mason Mount. And this has given rise to what might be Ruben Amorim's most pleasant headache since taking charge of Manchester United. So, who should Amorim choose between these two? And could it be that Mason Mount is currently a step ahead of Cunha in this race? If so, why is that the case? All of that will be revealed in today's story. I think one of the most obvious differences between these two players lies in how they move the ball forward. Both are excellent at circulating and progressing the play. That's why they fit so well in the left attacking role. At times, they're even allowed to drop deeper to receive the ball and help the team escape pressing situations. However, the way each of them does it is completely different. If you look at the match against Sunderland, Mason Mount was involved in more passages of play than Cunha. Yet, Cunha was the only player who carried the ball forward down the left flank. That alone highlights the contrast between them. Cunha is powerful, loves to hold onto the ball, takes risks, and tries to beat opponents with strength and confidence. Manchester United have long lacked a player like that, someone who can drop deep to receive the ball, absorb contact, and still push past 1 or 2 defenders to create space for teammates. Cunha tends to attract multiple defenders whenever he dribbles, which in turn opens up space for others to move into. His movement map in the Premier League clearly shows that he operates almost across the entire attacking line. Switching from flank to flank, he's always eager to get on the ball, to drive forward, and to make a difference through his pace and power. Mason Mount, on the other hand, is different. He carries the ball forward less often, not because he's less capable, but because he plays in a different way. Mount is intelligent in his positioning, knowing when to drop deep and when to move to create an extra man in midfield. He doesn't need to always be on the ball, he appears only when it's truly necessary. When Bruno Fernandes is tightly marked and the midfield lacks numbers, Mount instinctively moves deeper to support the build-up and open new passing lanes. Mount is the kind of player who makes the game easier for his teammates. He uses his ball control, close-range technique, and safe passing to ensure the team always has an extra outlet in possession. His stamina and high work rate also allow him to cover large areas of the pitch and contribute effectively to pressing. Many people label Mason Mount as a safe player, but that's not accurate. In the opponent's half, he often delivers short, clever passes that create scoring opportunities for teammates. While Cunha tends to try and do everything himself, dribbling through defensive lines from deep, Mount operates higher up the pitch, receiving the ball in more advanced positions, keeping it tidy, and finishing off moves efficiently. Both players are effective, they just go about it in different ways. For manager Ruben Amorim, having both of them in the squad is a real advantage. Against opponents who sit deep in compressed space, Mason Mount is the better fit to control the midfield and dictate the tempo. Conversely, if the opponent leaves space during transitions, Matheus Cunha becomes the preferred choice thanks to his acceleration and ability to punish defensive mistakes. Defensively, the two also differ quite noticeably. Matheus Cunha was once criticized for not contributing enough to defensive work. But in reality, He works harder and contributes more than people often assume. He possesses a strong physique, competes well in duels, and is effective in aerial battles, qualities that are particularly valuable in matches featuring a lot of long balls. Mason Mount, meanwhile, operates at an exceptionally high intensity. If Matheus Cunha is considered hardworking, then Mason Mount is almost tireless. In the left attacking role, it's hard to find another player who provides better defensive support than he does. His pressing, positioning, and covering movements make him a crucial piece in the team's defensive structure. It may sound like a strange comparison, but having Mason Mount on the pitch almost feels like Manchester United are playing with an extra man in all three phases: defense, control, and attack. Mount gives that impression. He makes complex defensive systems look simpler because he can cover the amount of ground that would normally require two players. Many teams usually need a player who constantly shifts between two positions to perform that role. But Mason Mount can handle it on his own. Meanwhile, with Cunha, it might not be ideal to assign him such responsibilities too often, though, of course. This also depends on the tactical setup Manchester United use in each match. If the team needs to push a striker higher up to switch into a two-forward system when out of possession, Matheus Cunha would be the right choice. But if Manchester United need their wide attackers to drop deeper and defend, then Mason Mount becomes the more suitable option, thanks to his stamina and tireless movement. The key point here isn't to compare who's better. Many often ask, who fits the system more? Who will start more this season? Who's the better player? Or even, does United really need Matheus Cunha? In my opinion, those questions are unnecessary. United have both Mason Mount and Matheus Cunha, two excellent players who bring different qualities to the same position. That's exactly what makes the team less predictable, something they've been missing for a long time. When opponents prepare to face Manchester United, they have no idea what to expect. Will they face a diligent, energetic Mason Mount with smart passing and perfect tactical balance? Or will it be the explosive Cunha, capable of driving straight through the middle and unleashing a shot that destroys the defense in seconds? That unpredictability is a huge positive, especially for a team that's often been criticized for being too easy to read. And this is the real point: having two great players is not a problem. Even though United don't have many midweek fixtures this season, having two high-quality left-sided no-10s is still a major advantage. They bring tactical flexibility that allows the team to adapt to different opponents. In a recent match, Mason Mount came off after about an hour, and his replacement was Cunha, one of the best attacking players in the league, coming on when the opposition was already fatigued. That's not a problem. That's a dream scenario for Ruben Amorim. It's true that starting both at the same time isn't easy, but it doesn't need to be. Some weeks Mount will start. The next week Cunha will get his chance. Sometimes Cunha might even move up front to give Benjamin Sesko a rest. That kind of quality coming off the bench is something any manager would love to have. United's goal this season is to secure a spot in European competition, and when that happens, having two players like these will be a massive advantage. Two top players, two different styles, offering multiple ways to approach a game, something United have lacked for years. I still think the team might eventually need another type of player on the left side. Maybe a true wing back. But that's a story for the future. For now, just enjoy it. Don't worry about who's better, just look at what the team needs each week. If the task is to break down a deep defense, use Mason Mount. If it's to exploit space and attack at speed, go with Cunha. Having multiple weapons is always a good thing, and that's why I believe Ruben Amorim's only real problem right now is having too many good options. In fact, Mount's real value to Manchester United is most evident in defense. With Mason Mount in the lineup, United's midfield looks far less fragile. He's not just energetic, he instinctively drops deeper whenever the team loses the ball, providing an extra layer of protection in front of a midfield that often only includes Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. His one-touch play, ability to maneuver in tight spaces, and composure under pressure help United play out from the back far more smoothly. Simply put, he makes life easier for his teammates. When Mason Mount is on the pitch, Casemiro doesn't have to shoulder as much defensive burden, and Bruno gains more freedom to create. The difference is that Mount works at a high intensity, he runs tirelessly, presses aggressively, and doesn't shy away from doing the dirty work, something United have missed since Fred's departure. Bruno, meanwhile, is a more instinctive, risk-taking attacking midfielder who can sometimes lose the ball in dangerous areas due to limited spatial awareness under pressure. Defensively, Bruno struggles to hold his position or shield the midfield effectively, and that's where Mount becomes the crucial patch, preventing United from being exposed through the middle. To be fair, Mason Mount isn't a defensive midfielder, but his mobility and discipline bring the team much-needed balance when out of possession. That's exactly what Manchester United need, and perhaps this could truly be Mason Mount's year. He's the kind of player every manager loves, from Lampard and Tuchel to Ten Hag and now Amorim. Everyone knows that when Mason Mount is fit, the team simply functions better. All fans are waiting for now is for him to stay injury-free. Because he's the kind of player who makes the whole system run smoothly without overcomplicating things. For now, there's still no definitive answer on who will start regularly, it all depends on the game plan. But one thing's certain, the happiest man of all is Ruben Amorim.